Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday here, and today I wanted to talk about this concept that acceptance and surrender does not mean resignation, right? So we'll get to that in a minute, but enjoy the birds, take a couple of nice, relaxing breaths. They say that a hand on your heart while relaxing your body and breathing slowly kind of feels like a hug. So give yourself a hug. Smile. Good stuff. And as you can hear, we got Tractor Boy. I don't know what they're doing, if that's a leaf blower or something. Cannot escape Tractor Boy. He follows me. So, today I wanted to talk about this concept of acceptance and surrender. We hear that a lot in the mind-body space. And a lot of people absolutely interpret that to mean, well, if I accept this, I'm quitting. I'm not going to quit. I got to keep fighting, right? And so, acceptance and surrender in the context of what I teach here in my world does not mean you're quitting. You're not resigning yourself to a lifetime of symptoms. What you're doing is accepting where you are right now. You're accepting where you are right now. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Radical acceptance of where you are right now. Because no matter how hard you fight, right now, your life is the way it is. So we're not resigning ourselves to that forever, but what we are saying is, I accept where I am right now. Because all that resistance and fighting doesn't necessarily change anything, right? Surrender. Wave the white flag. That has a little bit more of a connotation of quitting. But surrender to the process, right? It will take as long as it takes for you to teach, not heal, teach your brain that you're actually okay. And the speed at which you do that is 100% dependent on your ability to remain calm. Remind yourself of the facts that this is a mind-body condition, not a body problem. Remind yourself that your body's already okay. The reason we know that is the foundational four. I know what causes symptoms, right? And that applies to me because you've done the assessments, right? Again, keep on getting emails and messages. Hey Dan, is this TMS? Folks, do the assessments, please. You'll have your answer. Is this pdp.com? Yeah, so you know the fundamentals. What causes symptoms? Does it apply to me? Is there a solution? Yes. We've got lots and lots of successes here with this approach. And are you capable of it? Yes, you are. But fighting, talking about symptoms, posting online about your symptoms, telling me your brain does this, your pain does that. Folks, it's your brain. And the pain is a false alarm. Because you know the fundamentals. You understand what's going on. And that it applies to you. By definition, it means you're not broken. So acceptance, surrender. Accept where you are right now. Doesn't mean you're resigning that to be the rest of your life. Surrender to the process. Focus on safety. Focus on teaching your brain that you're okay. If that's hard and you find yourself in fear a lot, it's likely because you're ruminating on the fearful thoughts that are coming from a brain that's perceiving danger. And a brain perceiving danger is going to be saying, Dan, watch out. Be careful, this might happen. But those are the thoughts that I mentioned yesterday in the video where I said, I forget the title of the video already. But we don't have to buy into those thoughts. We don't have to believe them. We don't have to believe our own thinking. We can call BS on our own fearful thoughts, just coming from a scared brain. Right? And so, acceptance. Accept where you are right now. Doesn't mean you have to stay here. Doesn't mean you will stay here. It just means that right now is right now, and the condition that I feel mentally, emotionally, physically, with symptoms, without symptoms, that's where I am right now. So why fight that? Because getting aggravated and frustrated and pissed off and sad doesn't make right now change. It just means you're suffering twice. You've got your symptoms and you're now suffering mentally and emotionally because you're resisting and fighting. Acceptance. I am where I am. Can't change it, but I can influence it. And that's what this whole thing is about. Influencing our brain by teaching it that we're actually okay. Right? So acceptance. I am where I am. Right? Surrender. Doesn't mean quit. Doesn't mean give up. It means surrender to the process. This stuff takes time. If you've been scared in fight or flight for a long time, it takes time for this process of consistent messages of safety to go from here to here, right? To go from the intellectual, I understand all this stuff, but it's not here yet. And so for all the people who say, I've been doing this Sarno stuff for years and it hasn't worked. I'm doing everything perfectly and it's not working. Well, are you authentically feeling safe or are you still pissed off, rejecting your current state of being aggravated, sad, scared? Have you recovered from fear? It's not a matter of doing activities. I've been journaling for years. I'm not better yet. That's because journaling isn't a solution by itself. It's only a solution if it conveys safety to your brain consistently enough to outweigh the brain's perception of danger. Look, there's lots of tools out there, from journaling, somatic tracking, breath work, meditation. Those things can all be part of a solution. But if they're not contributing to messages of safety, and some of those things, if they're being viewed from a tool to fix my pain because I'm resisting, not accepting, resisting my symptoms, then doing those tools to fix is perpetuating the brain's belief that there's something to fix. Does that make sense? So acceptance, surrender, accept where you are. Fighting it does not make you feel any better. As a matter of fact, much of the suffering that we experience isn't necessarily due to the symptoms. It's how we experience them, mentally and emotionally. I'm not saying these symptoms are easy. I'm not saying they're fun. I'm not saying they're pleasant. They are and can be very disruptive, and they will get our attention. So notice I never, ever have told people to ignore their symptoms. Indifference is not ignoring. Indifference says, it's there, okay, whatever. Surrender to the process. You can and will get better, but it takes some time. And trying to hurry it up doesn't make it happen any faster, because by doing that, I'm in a hurry, I got to get out of this quickly. You're basically running from what you perceive to be a huge problem, these symptoms. I'm not saying they're not a problem in your life, but by running from them, you're basically saying, I'm in danger, I got to get away from these symptoms. And nothing about that says I'm actually okay. Acceptance to where you are. Truly accepting it, like, okay. For me, it was like, okay, I've got back pain. I've got sciatica. Right? BFD. Big effing deal. Right? And I focused on life. Surrender to the process. Just commit to it. Consistent messages of safety. A good question to ask, and I've talked about this over and over, is, are the things I'm thinking, doing, and saying conveying safety? Or, no, I'm in danger. And I say this often, folks, but for the people who say, I'm doing everything perfect, it's not working, and I'm frustrated. Well, frustration is not on the list of success strategies, right? Convey safety consistently, credibly. Know that you're okay, folks. I know I sound like I'm overly simplifying this, and somebody actually accused me and said, it sounds like you make it sound so easy, but it's not. And I'm very conscious of not saying this stuff is easy. I say it's not easy, it's hard, but you can make it easier by doing some of the things that I recommend on a daily basis and in my group coaching. So acceptance and surrender. It's not resignation, it's not quitting. And these two things can massively help you by getting out of resistance and fighting, which is all conveyed as or perceived as danger. So how about accept where you are right now? Drop the fight, drop the watching the calendar, drop monitoring and managing symptoms and keeping a spreadsheet as to, well, at 10 o'clock it was a level 4 out of 10, but by 2 o'clock it went up to a 6 out of 10. Don't track it. Acceptance means it's going to be what it's going to be. Focus on influence, which is influencing the symptoms with credible, consistent messages of safety. Surrender to that process. And between accepting where you are and surrendering to the process with no outcome expectations, because a lot of people will say, Dan, for 2 days I was like pretty good with the confidence and the mindset. It didn't work. Okay. Because the credible evidence of safety that you conveyed in 2 days was this, but yet you've had weeks, months, years, decades of credible evidence of danger. It's going to take some time for those consistent, over time, messages of safety to become heard and accepted and begin to influence your brain's perception of danger. So, I know you folks can do this. I hope this message was received by you and helped you. I believe in you. So, all right, everybody, going to wrap this up. Going to enjoy this gorgeous day. Got a little bit of writing to do. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow, as usual. Love you.